music you hear is the sound of StereoRiots. They're a local indie rock band about to turn it up today in the studio. StereoRiots is here on The Sound. Hello everyone, I'm Britt Waters. Welcome to The Sound. I'm here with a band whose unique name kind of says it all. They're called the StereoRiots, and they've been rocking music venues all around the city, like 930 Club and the Howard Theater. But today, they're rocking Studio A right here on The Sound. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So what is a StereoRiot? How did you put that together?
It's kind of funny. We actually, it took us a while to come up with the name, and our drummer Mo here, actually, we were sitting in a room and we were rehearsing, and he had a picture of a stereographic picture of it, and then he suggested, you know, the name, like, oh, how about like Dead Stereo? And we went through like a couple names. I'm like, I like the stereo part. I don't like the dead part. So
yeah, I don't want to be dead.
So then we, there's this band I like called Rah Rah Riot, and we kind of like borrowed from that a little bit, and we just became StereoRiots.
I like it, StereoRiots.
StereoRiots.
So introduce Susie, the members of your band.
This is our drummer Mo. That's him. This is Chris, plays bass.
Awesome. And what do you guys have first for us today?
Our first song is going to be off our EP that came out a couple years ago.
Okay.
It's called Intervals, and the first song is called Lucky Zero.
Awesome. I'm ready to rock and roll.
Sure.
Go ahead.
All right, cool.
Let's accelerate. Distress crowd is now coming in on the chase. I won't hesitate. I'll drop off from the loud shouting, waking up the pace. Oh, 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 revved up again in the streets where the million beat trace you back to where you began. Yeah, I didn't understand. It's driven by lucky love, right? It's driven by shaky hands. Whoa, 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 roll, low hero. I'm your final lucky zero. It's a natural way I'm moving, like a crooked man who knows I've been destroyed before. Oh, I'm a mechanical, use my wires for today. Time me and I won't feel the phone. Yeah. is gone so can destined to ensure she's a slick back around the core. Sing across the room with me a song coming from sympathy in the core. Karma is a killing mass. It's my perpetual delinquent. Oh, karma is a killing mass. She's my perpetual delinquent. I can tell when the wind will sing. The hits are more than I'm handling. I can tell when the wind will sing. The hits are more than I'm handling. 'Cause I can pin you down, I can pin you down. I could pin you down, I could pin you down, it's alright. I can pin you down, I could pin you down. I could pin you down, I could pin you down, it's alright. It's better over when trying to find no battalion. Battle it's a lonely rest. Charges and charges so I can. Battle over when charges is on no battalion. Red battle it's a lonely rest. Charges and charges so I can. I could pin you down, I could pin you down. I could pin you down, I could pin you down and down. I could pin you down, I could pin you down. I could pin you down, I could pin you down and down. I could pin you down, I could pin you down. I could pin you down, I could pin you down and down. I could pin you down, I could pin you down. I could pin you down, I could pin you down and down. It's better over when shine the sun over Zion. Battle is a lonely rest. Shine the sun just so I can. Battle over when shine the sun over Zion. Battle is a lonely rest. Shine the sun just so I can. Pin it down. Pin it down. Pin it down. Yeah, pin it down.
When we come back, I get to talk to the band all about how Craigslist had a role in their evolution. True story. Stick around for the more stereo riots on the Sound. Welcome back to the Sound. I'm Britt Waters here with the indie rock band StereoRiots. Now, both performances were awesome, but I love that first song. Can you take me back to the place where you were making the first EP and how you promoted it to the public?
We actually, so that song we originally wrote to, as part, it was an idea to like an album intro.
Wow.
And so we brought it, we actually got contacted by Austin Bello from Forever the Sickest Kids. He's like a bassist, and he produced our EP, and he just offered to like work with us. And so we actually just went into his house and we recorded the whole EP there in like this little small bedroom.
Super cool.
And you know, there are parts where he took like, you know, we just worked together where you know, we would make like a main riff, and then he would produce like the chorus and come up with the guitar chords. And it was interesting because it was it's more poppy now than like it was. It kind of started off like a little bit more rock bluesy,
Yeah,
a little
hardcore.
more funk, and then it kind of slowly turned to like an indie rock pop song. But which we were cool with. So
Cool.
Yeah.
So how has promoting music changed from then to now?
I think mainly we're like more connected. I think everything nowadays is like online, pretty much. Just the other day we were playing a show with this one band from Orlando, and they have their own little like Snapchat thing with their like band name and stuff like that
So
on there,
cool, right?
like to help promote. And our manager helped us out a lot, especially with like all the new like apps and stuff like that. So we're more connected. Like we didn't even realize we had like people that liked us like out in like France and and Italy for
just overseas. A lot of the contacts that we get are actually from like online. It's like almost everything's digital now. So that's pretty much the main way we promote our music, besides aside from shows and just through word of mouth.
Yeah, because you guys have played a lot of places around DC, Maryland, and Virginia, where you guys are from.
Yeah.
So what's the crowds like? Is DC a good place for rock and roll?
Yeah, I think so. There's a lot of bands, there's a lot of people. The scene is very diverse, so there's a little bit of everything, a little bit of pop, a little bit of like country, jazz, hip hop. Especially in Virginia, there's a really, really big metal scene and heavy rock scene. Yeah. So, there's just a lot to do. There's a lot to listen to, a lot to connect with, a lot of people to meet. So.
And you guys all bring kind of a different flavor to the band. How did you guys get started? What's the Craigslist story? Because I need to know.
So our former bassist, Jay, we met like on Craigslist, and he was looking for a band, I was looking for a band, and this was, I think, like I got out of college recently, and so then we met up, and I actually met him and our band manager, Paige, at the same time.
Okay.
And so it was kind of funny because like it's almost like it's almost these things you go like on a music date, so like
Really?
so like we tried out, we like jammed a little bit, and then we didn't hear from each other for like a couple months, and then we came back and we started writing songs together. And I know Mo from school. I went to animation school with him.
Okay.
And he was like, Mo and I always talk, like every time we pass each other in halls, we're like, oh man, yeah, we gotta jam sometime.
Yeah.
And that lasted for, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years.
I think all of college, right?
We said, let's get lunch one day.
Yeah.
It never happened. And so Jay and I were like, well, we don't know any drummers. And I'm like, well, I do know my friend is a drummer. I've just never heard him drum before, And I contacted him and asked him if he would be interested in like playing with us, joining the band, and then from then we kind of formed the initial trio.
You need like a dating app, but for musicians in the area.
Oh, you better trademark that, like, right?
Let's go set this up right when we're done.
Let's do it.
So rock and rollers, they seem to have like stereotypes as hardcore partiers, things get crazy. Anything crazy ever happened during a show?
We kind of, yeah. We had at the one place, like some girl just came up and started, not too crazy, but she just started like dancing with me, like while
On the
I'm,
stage?
yeah, like while I'm like
okay.
performing, and I was like, thank you, but not now.
No one's ever broken a guitar or anything like that.
No.
You guys keep yours pretty clean.
Yeah.
I do remember going to one show and some dude in a gorilla costume popped up on stage and the entire band beat the crap out of him.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
It was actually kind of funny.
That took a turn.
You didn't tell me that.
But every time I go to like rock shows, or even have rock and rollers here on the Sound, it seems like different members can be in multiple bands. Do you know how that works kind of in the scene?
Yeah. We just, like everybody plays in like each other's bands, and when you're playing with other bands in the scene, you meet a lot of people, you know, and you connect with them, and then those guys are doing little projects of their own, so you'll meet somebody, and then and a lot of times there's a pretty mutual respect for like the musicianship, and you guys just connect and form things together. And
Yeah.
so.
That's how we met Chris right here, because just like you said with DC, like everyone's a close-knit community, especially with the local bands. Everyone knows each other. Everyone helps each other out. Like, hey, I got this gig. You want to play on with this?
Yeah.
And that's how we met Chris with his former band.
Awesome.
You know, and you know when we were looking for a bass player, he was like. He said he was a fan of our music, so like
And now he's a part of the
Now he's
music
part of
and the
it.
movement that you
Lots of
guys
fun.
put together.
Yeah.
So if you can pick one venue and one celebrity to play at and join the band with you, where and who would it be?
Oh. That's a tricky one.
I probably know what his would be.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Uh,
Whoever's ready.
well, mine.
So many. They're like so
Yeah.
bad. I would say.
Well, let's make the venue the Sound.
Okay.
I will say for me, like Zach De La Rocha from
Rage.
Against the Machine. I think
Oh yeah.
because me as a drummer, like I was inspired by the energy that they have.
Yeah.
When I
Same here. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always been a huge idol of Jimi Hendrix. So
Oh, true.
yeah, him and like MSG at like Madison Square Garden would be perfect.
Oh, that would sound like such a party.
Oh yeah.
I'm ready to get back to the music and party because I'm like rocking and rolling while you guys are on stage. So when we come back, it's time to turn up the sound and rock out again with Stereo Riots. Stick around for the sound. Welcome back to the Sound. Britt Waters here with the indie rock band Stereo Riots. And what's your website so we can find you when you're not here?
It's StereoRiots.com.
Easy to know. What's
Yeah.
the next song?
Next song is Pinned Down.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's go.
Alright, cool.
Party time.
Oh, she gone past some boundaries, but I didn't know you were prepared to leave. Maybe I was mistaken, thinking we were too bold. Maybe I'm shaken from doing the impossible. Sometimes I am too high and to infinity. It's where my long shots land. No one ever sees why I never stop thinking till we go too far. Far enough, rush to sound. You wanna run your revolution, running on the kingdom come. Never stop thinking till we go too far. Far enough, rush to sound. You wanna run your revolution, running on the kingdom come. Running on the kingdom come. Running on the kingdom come. You know I realize some little parts are set off when they're taking all alone in the dark. I'm down in the hours every second I'm itching. I'm wondering if you're that factor I'm missing. Sometimes I aim too high into infinity. It's where my long shots there when no one ever sees. That's why I never stop thinking till we go too far. Far enough, rush to sound. You wanna run your revolution, running on the kingdom come. Never stop thinking till we go too far. Far enough, enough to sound. You wanna run your revolution, running on the kingdom come. Running on the kingdom come. Running It's one way where we're going. Ain't no one stopping this dangerous force in motion. Ain't no rewinding. It's one way where we're going. Ain't no one stopping this dangerous force in motion. Till we go too far, far no rush to stop, run and run, the revolution, running on the kingdom come. Now I'm thinking till we go too far, far no rush to stop, run and run, the revolution, running on the kingdom come. Ooh, running on the kingdom come. Ooh, kingdom come. Ooh, running on the kingdom come. Ooh, running on the kingdom come. The culprits are you and me, really only by default. That it has to naturally be a flaw. This accident was planned, it's only possible. I do it again. Never meant to leave your train. Wanted to make it up, but then it never came. Say, hey, hey, I wanna say.
so much to Stereo Riots, and for all of you watching, we'll see you again on the next edition of The Sound. Thank you so much, guys.